Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, continuing our discussion on the decoding your past life. So in this video, we will look at a very important aspect called as the central planet of your past life. Now, I do not want to take any credit for this. I have referred to the work of one of the very prestigious, very respected astrologer A.B. Shukla sir, and based on that I will be trying to connect this with whatsoever we have decoded so far, like Rahu's placement in your chart, Ketu's placement in your chart, your D60 chart. So we will connect this. Could be seen as one of the loop in continuity of our discussion. So friends, see, for the analysis of this concept, which I will give you a comprehensive idea once we will switch to the narration part. But see, for this we will be taking into consideration your moon nakshatra. Like I always say that moon nakshatra could be seen as a seed of all of your karmas from the past, the potential which you carry, the specific gods, devatas whose blessing is going to be there in your life, which will guide you unconsciously, your talents, your peculiar talents, all of that can be decoded from your moon nakshatra. Moon nakshatra also plays a very significant role because it's the moon nakshatra only which decides the sequence of the experiences with which your life will go through, in a way that your dasha, your mahadasha gets decoded on the basis of the moon nakshatra only. And also friends, like if like in one of my previous upload, I have also talked about that the planet whose dasha you start your life with, like your moon nakshatra lord. So that also tells about that in continuity in the past life, your life ended while undertaking the experience of that planet only. So let me explain it in a very simpler language. So let's say, for example, if you are born with your moon nakshatra, your janam nakshatra being Ardra, so that means the lord of the Ardra is the planet Rahu. That means in this lifetime you will start your planetary dasha sequence with the Rahu. But it also tells about that you died in the last life in the Rahu period only. Now when we talk about that, what could be the asakti, what could be the desires with which your emotions, your mind was attached at the time of the death, because obviously if you would have been rid of all the desires, you would have attained the moksha. It did not happen, so that means there were some desires. So this concept on which we will have our discussion, CPPL, central planet of past life, this will give this information that when you were dying in the last life, where your mind was mainly attached with, which became the reason of your rebirth in this lifetime. And based on that, the peculiar talents, the kind of mission which you were pursuing in the past life, all of that can be decoded. So yes friends, there is going to be, and it's going to be a very comprehensive discussion. So I'm sure that you will get benefited because of this, and whatever your like your findings are or your observations are on the presentation, because I'm sure you will hear this, you will watch this video and you will apply the same in your own chart or the chart of your known people. So do share that in the comment section, because it's a research platform. We all gain or learn from each other. So okay friends, now after this we will switch to the narration part. So friends, on our this quest to decode the past life through Vedic Astrology, we have done our discussion on the Shashtyamsha chart, on the Karakamsa chart, on the Atmakaraka, Ketu, 5th house. Now in this video we will dive deeper into it and we will have our discussion on this planet called as the CPPL, central planet of previous life. Now friends, obviously this is also somehow connected with the moon nakshatra. I will tell about all the probable combination for this, how to calculate this. It's very simple, because see, I was initially for a very long time in my journey in Vedic astrology, I was of this mindset that because spirituality and Hinduism as well, it believes that soul is in a uninterrupted journey of different lifetimes. So that means the moon nakshatra with which you are born, and based on that the planet whose dasha you will start, that just tells about that even in the past lifetime, you died in the sequence of the same planetary dasha and you started your journey again and resumed. I would say you resumed your journey from the same planetary dasha. But here, when we talk about the CPPL, we are not talking about the journey. We are talking about the intent, the desire, which became responsible for the birth. So over here, it hardly matters whether you have taken a train journey, bus journey, or a air journey. What matters is what was the intent or objective for which you have taken the journey. That is what we will try to understand through this planet. So friends, in this one video, I will try to give you as much as information is suffice or good for you to understand this concept. So to begin with, the central planet of previous life, CPPL, is the planet that carried maximum karmic authority in the soul's immediate past incarnation. So this planet shows what defined the native's identity previously, what karmic role was overdeveloped, what talent became instinctive, what attachment became dangerous, and why certain patterns repeat without logic in this life. So, CPPL, this planet, is not about the fate prediction, it is about the karmic memory. So, think of this planet as the default operating system of the soul. So, friends, this also reminded me that there is one Bhagavad Gita shlok which honors or justify this. So, let me first recite this shloka, show you that, and then I will try to connect it with our today's topic. So from the Bhagavad Gita's chapter 8 shloka number 6, it says yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tya jatyante kalevaram tam tamevati konteya sada tad bhava bhavidah. So meaning, whatever state of being one remembers at the moment of leaving the body, that state alone one attains, because the mind has been repeatedly shaped by it. Like this is one thought which majority of the faith, belief system and religions across the world agree, that at the time of the death, whatever you will be thinking, that will become responsible for your next life. Like for those samskaras, to exhaust them, that rananu bandhan, what kind of family you will be born in, how your body is going to be, what level of consciousness with which you will be born. But over here as well, many times it gets misunderstood. See, there are like certain words, keywords which are being used in this shloka. Like for example, smaran bhavam, which means remembered state of being, not the object. Sada tad bhavitah, conditioned by long-term repetition, not a last second thought. So that means where it gets misunderstood is that the verse is not saying whatever you think in the last second decides your next life. Because even in India, many people like traditional family, they have this concept, intent in their mind, that the reason why many families name their children in the name of the gods is that so a person or a father thinks that when I will be dying, when I will be on my deathbed, and when I will call my children in front of me, so if I have already named them as Vishnu, Shiva, Krishna, Hanuman in the name of the gods, so at the time of my death, knowingly, unknowingly or accidentally, I will die taking the name of the god. So but over here as well, so you have to understand that for this topic and connecting it with this shloka, so Lord Krishna is not saying that whatever you think in the last second, it will decide your next life. Lord Krishna is saying the final thought is only a symptom. The cause is what the mind practiced repeatedly. That repetition is CPPL. So that means if the whole summary or gist of your thought process in the past life was only about wealth, was only about food, was only about sex, was only about power, so that will be reflected through this planet called as the CPPL. And also friends, talking about this shloka only, so because this shloka is very important, every word in this shloka honors this concept, today's concept. So for example, the way I mentioned that this word sada tat Bhav Bhavita. So this single phrase explains CPPL perfectly, that CPPL is not a desire, is not a sin, it's not a one-time obsession. It is a dominant bhava, state of being, the mind, which rehearsed across a lifetime. And that became like your identity. It was very reflexive, automatic, and that pulls the next incarnation. So, all what we can say, friends, that this shloka says, the meaning of this shloka says that the mind practiced this bhava for years, possibly for multiple incarnations, so it activates without conscious choice in this lifetime. So this planet CPPL is like talents feel effortless, it comes very natural to you in this lifetime. Certain themes feels very repetitive, and it could also result in sometimes feeling emptiness as well. So the soul says, I have been here before, especially in the domain of the this planet, CPPL. So now friends, let me share one more shloka with you. So this from the Yog Vasishtha, Nad Bindu Upanishadic tradition, it says, Man ev manushyanam karanam bandh mokshyo bandhai vishya saktam mukte nivrishyam smritam. So the translation of this shloka means the mind alone is the cause of the bondage and liberation. Attached to objects, it binds. Detached from objects, it liberates. So through this words, the word which I have used is Vishaya Asakti of the previous life. So friends, through this verse, we get to know about the Vishaya Asakti of the previous life, the bondage to the objects in the past life. So this planet like CPPL represents the function to which the mind was most attached in the previous incarnation. It is not talking about like that area of the life was weak. It is not talking about anything where you have committed sins. It is just talking about over identification, over attachment in that specific area of life. So that begets this question, and now we will continue our discussion on this, that why this planet is spiritually crucial. So most people live their present life reacting from the past, not choosing consciously. And this is where knowing this planet, the theme of this planet, will give you conscious clarity. So this planet explains why success doesn't satisfy, why certain abilities feel effortless, why relationship repeat archetype patterns, why fear or guilt exist without any cause. So for example, if Ketu shows what is finished, this planet shows what was mastered but not transcendent. So now friends, before I will tell you and share with you the technique of how to decode this planet, there are like other techniques as well, because if I were to go over the internet and do a search on this, so certain articles, certain scholars mention that it's the Ketu's sign lord and dispositor chain give information regarding your past life karmic residue, past life obsession, attachment. So that means Ketu's sign lord could be seen as this central planet of the previous life, because Ketu represents the past life residue, and the final dispositor of the Ketu will point towards this planet. There is those believers who say that the planet which is going to be strongest in the D9 chart, Navamsa chart, like especially if that planet in the D9 chart is sitting in the Kendra Bhava and the Trikona Bhava, it is aspecting the Lagna or the Atmakaraka and having a strong dignity or the Vargottam strength. So that planet could be called as CPPL, means central planet of the previous life. And this planet will tell about your memory, your attachment, the governing thought process from the past life. There are those who believe that the planet which dominates a D12 chart and the D60 chart should be given this position, this portfolio, because we know that D12 chart represents the ancestral karma, D60 chart tells about the root karmic blueprint. So the repeatedly empowered planet here is rarely accidental. So many scholars believe like this. Many scholars say that it's the Atmakaraka planet. So or this could be the Atmakarak's placement in the D9 chart, that sign which becomes the Karakam Salagan, it is important. A planet which is conjunct the Atmakaraka, aspecting the Atmakaraka, or ruling the Atmakaraka's nakshatra, because they feel that this is the planet which often trained the soul previously. So friends, for the calculation of this planet, you have to give attention to your Janam Tara, to your moon nakshatra. Now we all are habitual of only looking at the Nav Tara. For example, the like the Sampat Taras, the like the nakshatras which are like 2nd, 11th and 20th, or this could be the Vipat nakshatras like 3rd, 12th, 21st from your moon nakshatra, or this could be the Shema Tara, Pretak Tara, Sadhana Tara, Nedhana Tara, Mitra Tara, Paramitra Tara. You would have like seen me using these Navtara terminologies whenever I make any transit video, especially from the perspective of when Jupiter, Saturn, they are shifting the nakshatra. I always explain the results from the these Navtara concept, and also when we talk about the Nadi nakshatra concept as well. So you would have heard that the Jati nakshatra, which is the 4th from your Janam nakshatra, the Matru nakshatra, the Karma nakshatra, Sanghatik nakshatra, Samudya nakshatra, Adhana, Vinashik, Manasa nakshatra, Abhisheka nakshatra. So that nakshatra, this CPPL planet, is none amongst all of that. So now comes the question that which planet becomes the CPPL. So friends, that's very simple. For that, you have to give attention to the 6th nakshatra from your moon nakshatra. And to make this very precise, all what you have to do is that you have to give attention to your moon nakshatra lord, and in the sequence of the Vimshotri Dasha. So you know that in the Vimshotri Dasha sequence, the sequence goes like this. After Ketu, then comes the Venus, then comes the Sun, then Moon, then Mars, then Rahu, then Jupiter, then Saturn, then Mercury. So in the same sequence. So for example, let's take up the case that if your moon nakshatra lord is Ketu, like at the time when you were born, your moon was in the Ashwini nakshatra. So that means Ketu is your moon nakshatra lord. Your Janam first Mahadasha after your birth started first with the Ketu. So that means if you have to calculate the CPPL, you have to go 6 places from the Ketu in the same Vimshotri Dasha sequence. So after the Ketu, the second will come the Venus, then will come the Sun, Moon, Mars, and the 6th is going to be Rahu. So that means for all the people who have got their birth moon nakshatra of Ketu, their CPPL will become Rahu. For those who are born with their moon nakshatra being of Venus, like Bharni, Purva Falguni, Purva Shadha, CPPL planet for you will become Jupiter. For those who have got their moon nakshatra as of the Sun, your moon is in the Kritika, Uttara Falguni, Uttara Shadha at the time when you were born. So that means your moon nakshatra lord is Sun, and the 6th from it in the sequence. So your CPPL planet will be Saturn. Same is the way if your moon nakshatra lord is being ruled by the moon in itself. Your moon nakshatra is Rohini, Hasta, Shravan. So that means your CPPL planet will be Mercury. If your moon nakshatra is of the planet Mars, means Mrikshira, Chitra, Dhanishta, that means 6 from the Mars in the Vimshotri Dasha sequence. That will take us to Ketu. So that means your CPPL, central planet of the previous life, will become Ketu. If your moon nakshatra is of Rahu, at the time of your birth, your moon was in the Ardra, Swati, Sadbhisha. So moon is your nakshatra lord. Moon nakshatra lord. Your first Mahadasha was of the planet Rahu, but when we talk about your CPPL, so that means in the same Vimshodri Dasha sequence, 6 from Rahu will make you reach the planet Venus. So that means your CPPL planet will become Venus. Friends, if your moon nakshatra is of the planet Jupiter, Punarvasu, Vishakha, Purvabhadrapada, so that means from the Jupiter you go 6 places in the Vimshotri Dasha planetary sequence, you will reach the planet Sun. So your CPPL planet is going to be Sun. If you are born with moon being in the Saturn's nakshatra, Pushya, Anuradha, Uttar Bhadrapada. That means you have to go 6 places in the Vimshotri Dasha planetary sequence from the planet Saturn, and you will reach the moon. So your CPPL planet will become the moon. So now friends, let's try to understand briefly a theme connected with all the planets if they are your CPPL in this lifetime. So for example, if Sun turns out to be your CPPL, that means your birth nakshatra is of the planet Jupiter. So your birth moon nakshatra is Punarvasu, then also CPPL will become Sun. If it is Vishakha, then also CPPL will become Sun. If it is Purvabhadrapada, then also CPPL planet will become Sun. So friends, what does it tell about? See, this tells about that in the previous lifetime, the theme is going to be connected with the authority. It is going to be connected with the leadership, with the kingship, and there is going to be ego identity. So now see, generally what happens is that just because we're talking about the past life attachment and the desire, now if you will see the same pattern getting repeated in this lifetime as well, like for example, like there are like certain nakshatras and there are like certain combinations which drive the native towards like authority and the power. So for example, your moon nakshatra is of the planet Jupiter. Okay, we understood this thing that the righteousness, ethics will come. But let's say for example, in your 10th house, you have the planet Mars, you have planet Sun over there. Your 10th lord is sitting in nakshatra like of Magha, of Jyeshtha. These are the nakshatras which has something to do with the seniority, with the authority, with the power. If your 10th lord is sitting in the Jyeshtha nakshatra, till the time you will not elevate in your career hierarchy, you are not going to be contented. So that means these are the kind of pattern and theme which will run in your life. And again friends, see, like the way we say that this is a planet which tells about the kind of the Rananu Bandhan which you have to exhaust. So till the time your soul in this lifetime will not be in that position of power, authority, it will not have that fame, it will still keep on causing birth after birth, because this is what is going to be the underlying theme in this lifetime. And again friends, everything comes down to the overlap. So whatever I'm saying over here with Sun being as your CPPL, how much the overall chart and the combinations are indicating in the same direction. Like for example, even if like in your date of birth, is there a prominence of the number 1? Are you born on the 1st of any month? Are you born on the 10th of any month? Or this could be a case that you are born with like impact of the Purnima. You are born on a tithi, like we say that there are like certain tithi, like you're born on the Saptami tithi, which is also connected with the Surya. So that is how you have to see the overlap in the chart. And what is your relationship with the father? See friends, over here, because Sun has become your CPPL, its placement in the chart will become very, very important. Because if Sun is going to be placed in the 5th house, it can also, and it might give you interest that the Rananu Bandhan in your case has got more to do with getting the knowledge of the Vedas, getting the scriptural knowledge. So based on that, this placement of the Sun as a CPPL, is it there in the 10th house, indicating only about the power, in the 1st house about the ego, or in the 5th house or the 9th house about the divine knowledge? So based on that, we will get to know. So because with Sun as your CPPL, we got to know about the previous life theme which has to do with the authority, leadership, kingship, ego identity. And in the past life as well, you might have been a ruler, or you have craved for that position to be a leader, to be seen as a leader. Or this could be a case that you have enjoyed that patriarchy in the family. And the karma carried in this lifetime has to do with the self-importance, pride, responsibility, the burden of the responsibility. And in this life, you will see that the natural authority will come to you without any effort. But there is going to be concerns of the ego crisis or clashes with the bosses or the father figures. So the sole lesson for you with Sun as your CPPL is lead without identity attachment. See, you have to understand that these are the Rananu Bandhan which you have to exhaust. So you will get to know that if you will stick to the other planetary explanation, that the nature varies. For example, someone who has got Venus as the CPPL, so that means there has been a lot of the attention and attachment towards the desires, towards the pleasure, which will come as a byproduct naturally in this lifetime. But this is where the trap is, and this is where the evolution is, that how much you exhaust it and you speed up your journey of the soul. That's where the trap and that's where the elevation is. So yes friends, that's all what I can say. All what you have to do is that you know that your moon nakshatra is of the planet Jupiter. But if today for the first time you got to know about Sun as your CPPL, so give attention to your chart and share it in the comment section, that how and what kind of role, authority, fame, impact and relation with the father you have in this lifetime. And is it like that you are very bossy and like that degree of self-importance comes very natural to you, attainment of the fame is your deep desire? So do write that in the comment section, because it will help us know the nitty-gritty of it. Okay friends, now moving ahead. Now let's say for example, if moon turns out to be your CPPL, so that means moon is the central planet of the previous life, and that can only happen if your moon nakshatra in this lifetime is of the planet Saturn. So that means your Janam nakshatra, your moon nakshatra is Pushya or Anuradha or Uttar Bhadrapada. That means it is ruled by Saturn. So you go 6 places from it, you will reach the planet moon, which becomes your CPPL. So what do we get to know about your previous life theme? We get to know about the emotional bonding, we got to know about the caretaking, we got to know about the dependency. So the past identity has been of a nurturer, of like a mother figure, like a healer, like a queen, and the karma which you have carried is of the emotional attachment, or there might have been a fear of abandonment. And in this life, hyper empathy, concerns you will see, flavors you will see, mood absorption, difficulty detaching from family or the memories. So the soul lesson for you in this lifetime is emotional sovereignty. So friends, now again, now you have got to know that moon is your CPPL. See, having your moon nakshatra, Janam Tara, moon nakshatra of the Saturn in itself tells about, because if you have to see the theme, Saturn might be a punisher in many alignments, but when it comes down to getting into the deeper nitty-gritty of the functioning of Saturn's own ruled nakshatra, you will see a lot of the nourishment over there, you will see a lot of the devotion over there, and highest form of wisdom over there. For example, Pushya is connected with the nourishment, Anuradha is connected with the devotion, and Uttar Bhadrapada is connected with the higher wisdom. So that means that in your case, if I were to say, it will become very easy for you to exhaust. It will become very easy for you to exhaust your karmas or the Rananu Bandhan. Now, why I am saying this thing? For example, you would have got to know that when we were having our discussion for the Sun as the, like for example, as the CPPL. Sun you will get as a CPPL because your moon nakshatra is of the Jupiter. And in the further discussion, you will get to know that someone who has got CPPL as Saturn, that can only happen for the birth moon nakshatra of the Sun people. So there is a lot of the contradiction in many of the moon nakshatra and the CPPL calculation. In your case, there is somehow a harmony. This is what you have been doing even in the past life as well. This is what the chapter which was going on in your life when your life ended, and you again started with the same theme of being in the tried and tested and structure and discipline of the planet Saturn. But somehow Saturn wants you to be strong. Saturn does not want you to be a crybaby and all the time talking about your emotions and getting emotionally clingy or dependent on people. So there is a lot of the overlap. Only thing which will matter is how you will utilize it, and the placement of the moon in the chart will give very deep and vital information. That, for example, at a time when you died in the past life, your asakti, your desires were attached to what element? For example, if your moon is placed in the fifth house, you might have, when moon is in the fifth house and it is, for example, it is conjunct with Saturn, or moon is, for example, your moon is in the nakshatra of the planet Saturn, so it can only happen in the 4, 8, 12 zodiac sign. So obviously if your moon is in the fifth house, it's in the Anuradha, so we get to know that it is like in the Scorpio. So that also tells about that if moon is your CPPL, in the past lifetime somehow you were very worried, you were very attached to the well-being of the children. Or this could be a case that if moon is placed in the ninth house and it is in the Pushya, so this attachment was with the Guru. So I mean to say, in your case it is not as worrisome, but yes, the Ranu Bandhan is somehow connected with this. And all the attachment, desires, the thoughts which were governing your mind, you might have those desires. Now you have to do a proper introspection. In this lifetime, what is your governing thought, your emotions, your feelings, what direction they flow? What is your highest wish? You want to build a temple, you want to do many pilgrimages, or you want to do something as a form of the charity, as a voluntary work, you want to write the best, publish the best book in a specific field. So all of that emotions are coming, all that inspirations are coming from the past. Give attention to moon. Do a deeper analysis of moon in your chart, because moon is your CPPL and it will give you a very clear insight. It will give you a very clear insight. Okay friends, now let's move ahead. Now let's say, for example, if Mars is your CPPL, so that means Mars can only become CPPL if your moon nakshatra is of the Mercury. It's Ashlisha, it's Jyeshtha, it's Revati. So what does it tell about? See, this first of all, to begin with, it tells about in the previous life, the theme was of conflict, warfare, survival or dominance. Now because see, the thing is, Mars is the Dehekarak. So Mars is in the Kal Purush Kundli, the birth happens from the first house. Mars has a say over there. And the death happens from the 8th house, like Scorpio energy. Mars has a say over there. And our human body, the Dehe, Mars has a say over there. So in your case, because Mars is your CPPL, there might have been concerns like which were governing your mind. For example, we say that in the Mahabharata as well, even till the last breath, Karna was like suffering with this desire only, that he hasn't proven himself as the world's best Dhanurdhar, archer. So there might have been that competitive spirit, because friends, when we talk about the Mercury nakshatra, Mercury nakshatras are the Gandamul nakshatra. So that in itself means that somehow with the Gandamul, if you have watched my video on the Gandamul, I have explained over there, the Gandamul people, somehow their Chetana, their consciousness is somehow connected with the past. And with Mars as your CPPL and Mars's placement in the chart, again friends, whatever I'm saying over here, you have to tailor made it as per this CPPL planet's placement in the chart, because that will tell about that what your mind was conflicting with, it was battling with. When I say that the previous life theme with Mars as the CPPL has to do with the conflict, with the warfare, with the survival, with the dominance, it doesn't mean that the actual war, you have to die as a soldier in the battleground. It means that what your mind was baffled with. So if your Mars as a CPPL, for example, is placed in the 10th house, this could be regarding your sovereignty in your career. If it is in the 6th house, then it might have to do with the competition, that there were concerns of the debt or credit, which were your recurring theme, mindset. And in this lifetime, this is coming as a byproduct. You are still battling your soul to exhaust and endure those Rinanu Bandhan. It still is born in a family where there is a generational debt and the credit and the loan problem going on, or the family ancestral disputes going on. Your Mars as a CPPL afflicted in the 8th house, afflicted in the 2nd house, in the 9th house. So that information we get to know. But again, if Mars is well placed in the chart, being the CPPL planet, that can also tell about that this courage, this domination, this warfare skills comes natural to you, because your soul, even in the past lifetime and in past many lifetimes, this is the area of expertise which the soul has as a natural byproduct. So the past identity is of a warrior, soldier, protector, enforcer. The karma carried is of the aggression, unresolved anger, violence memory. So for example, if you're a kind of person who has very strong repressed anger for your father, for your bosses, for your friends, for your sibling, Mars's placement as a CPPL in your chart, the house placement, the zodiac sign placement, the conjunction will give answer to that. So in this life, instant courage and competitive instinct comes very natural to you. Have you seen, friends, like for example those people who work in the mixed martial art, and people who are like the athlete and those commandos, the reflex, their body's reflex, you will see generally if your Mars is a CPPL, that means that courage, that competitive instinct is coming in from the past lifetime. Again, friends, let me be very clear. In this discussion, we are having a discussion on this front, that your moon nakshatra and that lord, that planetary lord, just tells about the phase and the situation with which you were going on. But this planet as a CPPL tells about your mental state, your asakti, what you were attached with. So the soul lesson for you is, in this lifetime, transform this force into discipline and life will reward you. So friends, write it in the comment section if you will get to know that Mars is your CPPL, where it is placed in the chart, its synopsis of analysis, and your life ongoing theme in that area, experiences in that area. Now friends, let's move forward. For example, if you have Mercury as the CPPL, so Mercury as the CPPL will only become if your moon nakshatra is of the moon in itself, like those who are born with moon in the Rohini nakshatra, in the Hasta nakshatra, in the Shravana nakshatra. So that means your CPPL planet will become Mercury. So what does it tell about? It tells about the previous life theme as of intellect, of commerce, of communication. So it tells about that the past identity might have been of a trader, of a scholar, of a messenger, of a strategist. The karma carried also tells about that in this lifetime you might be very good in the analysis of things, calculation of things, like learning or picking up a new language. So because see, friends, when those who are born with their moon being in its own nakshatra, that tells about the purity of the subconsciousness, and along with that, so any channeling becomes easier if moon is in a good state. So with this as your moon nakshatra, like let's say for example, your moon also has got the Paksh Bal as well. It is very big. It is of either like close to the Purnima. So then that means your moon is very ripe. And then when we talk about this planet as the CPPL, so that means its placement in the chart, in which nakshatra this Mercury is placed, in which house, in which zodiac sign it is placed, that will give you a precise information that where your mind was attached in the past lifetime. So in this life, it will manifest as fast learning, good skills with the communication, picking up any new language, and concentration might be very good. You will have difficulty switching off the mind. There is always a chattering which is going on in the mind. The soul lesson for you in this lifetime is wisdom over the cleverness. And you will see that based on the chart, like the placement of Mercury in your chart, you will get to know that in the past lifetime where your soul was attached, what comes to you as a byproduct, natural byproduct. And friends, the only reason for knowing this is that you're not born again. You are not born again because of your moon nakshatra lord. You are born again because of this planet. Now see the dignity of this planet and do a introspection. Are you very overly attached, obsessed with this? Like, is business is the only thing or like which goes on in your mind? Like, do you also see relations and your own relatives, your blood relatives, as a mode of getting into a transactional relation with them. So then that means, yes, this was something which you were doing in the past lifetime, and you're not still learning the lesson even in this lifetime. You're still committing the same things. You might be very good when we talk about the material things, like making a good deal or picking up new language, expressing yourself in an efficient way, very good in the business dealings. But important is that this attachment and this obsession only became a reason for a birth, and this will keep on happening as a pattern. So that is where you have to pay attention. The placement of the Mercury in your chart will give precise information. Now friends, let's say for example, if Jupiter becomes your CPPL. So Jupiter can only become your CPPL if your moon nakshatra is of Venus. Like for example, in this lifetime, you're born with your moon being in the Bharni nakshatra, Purva Falguni nakshatra, or the Purva Shadha nakshatra. That means your CPPL is the planet Jupiter. So what does it tell about? It tells about that in the previous lifetime, the theme has been of teaching, religion, moral authority. Now in the past identity, you might have been a guru or judge, advisor, priest. See again friends, like the way I have been saying this thing repeatedly, that here we are not talking about that you might be like a actual guru in the past life. Here we are talking about this whole concept of this central planet of the past life or the previous life has got more to do with where your mind was attached. So that means again friends, because both Jupiter and Venus have got that designation or a status of a teacher, of a preceptor. It also tells about that your craving in the past life might have been of the wisdom, might have been of the highest knowledge, and this is what you were searching in the past lifetime. A guru who can initiate you towards the soul realization, self-realization, God realization, and this did not happen. So that is what you have to understand. Here we are not talking about the actual life undertaking. Here we are talking about your mind, where the subconsciousness was attached, which created that entanglement, that another birth happened. So do a proper analysis of this Jupiter in your chart. So that will give you this information, that what was governing your mind when you were taking your last breath on the deathbed. So like the way I mentioned, the past identity and the mental association was with the wisdom. The karma which you have carried, it could be of the dogma, wisdom, scriptural text. In this lifetime, you are by default a natural counselor, like moral compass is very high, and the only thing which matters is in this lifetime your experiences around the Guru Tulya people. And again friends, when we talk about Jupiter, so somehow your values, your ethics, your morals, your parenthood, your relationship with the children, and like how much faith and luck and the fortune, what kind of role they have played in your success. So all of that will tell about from the past. All of that is flowing from the past. So the soul lesson for you is the truth beyond ideology. Now friends, when we talk about and moving forward with Venus, if Venus becomes your CPPL, so Venus can only become your CPPL if your birth moon nakshatra is of the Rahu. You're born with your moon being in the Ardra nakshatra, Swati nakshatra, or the Satabhisha nakshatra. So friends, that tells about if Venus is your CPPL, beyond any doubt there might have been attachment with the pleasure, with love, with luxury, with attraction. Now again friends, that's how, and I always say that you have to give attention to the overall chart, not only the placement of the Venus, because I cannot give you this one line prediction that in the past life you were only thinking about sex, you were only thinking about money, you're only thinking about your possession. Oh my god, I have so much wealth, so much money in my bank account, what will happen to it, what will happen to my beautiful wife? It's not like that. This could be a case that you might have that attachment for the for any devotional bhakti or anything to do with the creating the best art which the world has not seen, or any of the artistic creative talents. That aristocracy comes very natural to you in this lifetime. So I mean to say, you have to give attention to the Venus. So for example, if in your past life there have been over indulgences, overindulgences in the food, sex, wine, woman. So for example, in this lifetime, if your chart is heavily concentrated, your moon is in the Rahu's nakshatra. So for example, your moon is in the Ardra, and that is placed in the 12th house, that is placed in the 8th house. Or for example, you're born on a tithi, you're born on a Dvitiya tithi, which is somehow connected with the, like with the Brahmadev, where there is very over obsession with the opposite sex. So Dvitiya tithi can give this validation. Your Venus as a CPPL is conjunct with Rahu, and it is placed in the 8th house, it is placed in the 12th house. Then this will give this attention that okay, in this lifetime, if there is over exertion of energy going in this specific area, it is all a byproduct from the past, and you're still not learning your lesson. That's how you spent and exhausted your whole life being attached. There is a Hindi word which I use in this discussion, asakti. Even in the past lifetime, you were obsessed, you were attached, you were dependent on good food, on luxury, on these kind of indulgences, and you're not still learning this lesson in this lifetime. And also we say that all the Rananu Bandhan comes in this lifetime. So if Venus, if you are a man, and Venus becoming your CPPL, okay, it is not very well placed. So obviously it will affect your marital life. So whatever you are experiencing in the marital life, don't complain, because again it will be creating more Rananu Bandhan. That means you might have to again come back and endure the same lesson or same experience. So let it finish off in this lifetime, so that the pattern or the theme will not repeat. So again friends, all what I can say is that giving attention to this planet, its attributes, its elements, in your life, in your chart, will give a very precise information. What were you thinking in the past lifetime? What was the governing thought which somehow ruled your life, and which is now impacting you, influencing you through some sort of attachment even in this lifetime. So it is going to be highly karmic, the experiences with the Venus in this life. Now friends, talking about if Saturn becomes your CPPL. So see, the way it has been written about the Saturn as the CPPL, that in this lifetime, the thing is, life will be very fortunate for you in this regard, that you will get a chance to exhaust and endure and deal with all the Rananu Bandhan from the past. Trust me on this, even if Saturn is going to be bringing any problems or obstacles in your life, consider it, count it as a blessing, so that you will finish off this cycle which has been repeating from the past many lifetimes. Generally, it has been seen that if Saturn is your CPPL, if you are in a profession which is connected with law, which is connected with policing, this might also tell about this. Saturn as a CPPL can give you authority, can give you good career, can give you power, can give you good career, because this is the expertise you have, because your mind has been exhausted. Your mind has been exhausted heavily in this attribute, in this area of the life. So we say that it might be very good when we talk about your career, but the karmic lessons happen a lot in the life. So if career is going to be good, marital area might have a negative impact, or if marriage is good, might be concerned with the childbirth. So some area of the life, there might be some lessons which will come. Now friends, if Saturn become your CPPL, so that means you are born with your moon being in the nakshatra of the sun, Kritika, Uttara Falguni, or the Uttarashadha. So friends, the way it has been explained like in the scriptures is that when Saturn becomes the CPPL planet, so it gives a chance to deal with or engage with all the Rananu Bandhan from the past. Whatever area of the life you are struggling with, or you will have a strong expertise, it is flowing in from the past life. Second thing is that, again friends, we are not talking about the actual undertakings, we are just talking about that this is giving us this indication that even in the past lifetime, which area of the life you were very dutiful about, or which area of the life you suffered, you endured a lot, or you were very serviceful. All of that we get to know. In the past life, the identity could be of a public servant, this could be of a monk, this could be of a laborer, this could be of someone who's very disciplined. So the karma which you have carried from the past life is of the guilt, heaviness, and austerity imprint. See, the way many scholars say that if Saturn becomes your this CPPL planet, it has the capacity to give good career success. But again, these people rise very high in their life, in their career hierarchy, career ladder, but some area of the life suffer. So if the career is going to be good, marriage might take a hit, or if marriage and the career is good, the concerns of the childbirth might be a pressing issue. So that is how you have to do the analysis in your own chart. What is Saturn's placement? Because Saturn's placement only will give this indication that what was the governing repetitive theme, mindset with which your past life finished. So if Saturn is in the like Libra and it is exalted in the 12th house, that means even from the past lifetime you are a ascetic, like a monk, even from the past lifetime. This is being carried forwarded, like all the merits are flowing in from the past. And if it is like, for example, in your this lifetime Saturn is placed in the Scorpio in the 8th house, you might be a tantric, and that is how you have been in that path. So all of that you will get to know. So all what we can say that in this lifetime Saturn as a CPPL will talk about high resilience, and the sole lesson for you is to allow the grace, not the punishment. Now friends, if Rahu is your CPPL, so obviously that can only happen if your moon nakshatra is of the Ketu, of Ashwini, Magha, Mula. So what does it tell about? See, it can also tell about that you might have done something very unusual, or your death might have taken place in some unusual circumstances, or you might have done something for which you might have been socially outcasted or boycotted. So all those possibilities are there. See, again, what in the today's day and age we see as settling down in a foreign country, living in a foreign land. So there might have been the same concern, but something where you might have taken those steps or done something which is not very easy to do, or which is not accepted in the governing social norms. This is what Rahu as the CPPL talks about. That also tells about that you wanted to be free, you wanted to have your own identity, you wanted to carve your own niche, and that independence was the thing which was going on in your mind. And again friends, Rahu is the chief planet of the desires. That means your life ended up without many of your desires being fulfilled. See, that is where the irony comes with the Rahu and Ketu, because your ongoing theme of the life with Ketu's Ketu being your moon nakshatra, and I'm sure that and what many scholars agree, that the Mahadasha with which our life begins, in the past lifetime we died in the same planetary dasha. It's just like that our soul has now got a new body and the life begins again, but in the same planetary dasha. So that means Ketu was pushing you more towards the spiritual austerity, renunciation, moksha, but somehow you have had those desires, and because of which you were born. So see, the thing is, the Rahu theme will be prevalent for you. So let's say, for example, if right now you just see Rahu as being placed in a house responsible for the fame, recognition, but because Rahu is your CPPL, it is exceptionally strong. So all that like ambition, obsession, and that craving for that unconventional path and identity in the life is flowing in from the past only. So the past identity might be of a revolutionary, outcast, genius. The karma which you have carried is of addiction to the intensity. And in this life, there's a high possibility that you will have that desire to break the norms. There is going to be some identity instability, but Rahu's placement will tell about that, how much you'll be able to achieve or fulfill in this lifetime. So the sole lesson for you is the direction over the desire. And friends, if Ketu becomes your CPPL. So Ketu can only become if your birth nakshatra is of the planet Mars. That means you're born with moon being in the Mrigashira nakshatra, Chitra nakshatra, or the Dhanishta nakshatra. So what does it tell about? See friends, Ketu being the CPPL planet carries a lot of the weight. It tells about that you were a renunciate even from the past lifetime. See, you have to understand the difference between, like for example, we generally say for the general regular charts that Ketu is responsible for the detachment. If CPPL planet can give you mastery, Ketu represents detachment. If CPPL planet tells about what was central in your past life, Ketu tells about what got finished. So that means if Ketu represents release, the CPPL planet just talks about the realignment. So the way we say that your operating system with which your system got shut down in the past lifetime when you died, and it got turned on again with the same operating system. So that is the CPPL. But just because you have got Ketu as the CPPL, that means there is a strong potential of the release. And we know this thing that, see, Ketu is a planet of the in total. Ketu is not incomplete. The way we say that, okay, Rahu is the head part, Ketu does not have a head. See, beyond any doubt, Ketu does not have the 5 senses of the face, of the head, like your ability to see, to smell, to hear, to taste. All of that has gone with the Rahu. But excluding that, Ketu in itself is complete. Ketu cannot experience it, but in itself, solely, individually, it does not need anything else. So that means huge spiritual potential with which you are born, because your CPPL planet is Ketu. The only concern is that, see, when we talk about the Mars, with Mars, there is a lot of the bodily desire which comes into the picture. So that might have come in the way. But deep spiritual potential you carry within yourself. It also tells about some sort of sadhana which you would have been doing in the past lifetime. And the Ketu's placement in the chart will tell about. If your Ketu is placed in the 12th house, if your Ketu is placed in the 9th house, and your Ketu is placed in the Jupiterian signs, conjunct with the planet Jupiter, or this could be sitting in the nakshatra of the Jupiter. So that will give this indication that yes, in this lifetime, there's a huge potential, spiritual potential, enlightenment potential you carry within yourself. And again, I say, Ketu driven people, ruled people are favored by the nature, by the cosmos. They don't need anyone else. They don't need any humanly support. Nature is their own friend. Nature is their own guide. And high potential possibility of some supernatural talent or some exceptional skill with Ketu as your CPPL, that much is possible. So okay friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. I'm very much motivated these days because see, Ketu is transiting in my 5th house and Saturn is transiting in my 12th house. It's a power pack combination of spirituality or your devotion, your attention towards spirituality. So I'm sure after this and based on the participation, I will get motivation that I need to make similar videos which will help us understand our past life and our mission, our purpose for this life. So yes friends, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic Astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.